This is a master developer of men, okay? And I think that we can have something special here, something just a little bit different, just a little bit different. Look at the programs he was at. You're at Temple with what they had there. Look at Baylor, the classes he brought in and what he's done with those young men there. And so we got a master developer that never had the resources before, that's showing that he can do it with less. What do you think he can do with more?
David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, on why he hired Matt Rhule, who had that turnaround, that Temple tough turnaround from 2 wins to 2 10-win seasons, then taking over Baylor, which was on and off the field, a program that needed a lot of attention, and from 1 win to 11 wins. Matt Rhule, coach of the Panthers, joins us now on Lunch Talk Live. So, Matt, what is the value of the experience of those two that you've been able to put in place already there with the Panthers?
Well, both Temple and Baylor were great places. And I'll never forget when I first went to Temple, Bruce Arians reached out to me and gave me a great piece of advice. He said, don't get caught up in all the things you think you don't have, because you have the most important thing, you have great people. And I learned there to find great people, to find the positives. Don't get caught up in, we don't have this, we don't have that. Just find the things that you have and find a way to win. And we did it at Temple. We did it at Baylor. So now having a chance to come to the Carolina Panthers, the number one thing we have here in Carolina is we have great people.
And it starts with ownership. People heard David Tepper's soundbite there, have heard and seen him a little bit more here along the way over the last couple of years. People may have seen more of him on CNBC than on NBCSN. He is legendary in the financial and the business world. What can you share with folks that would tell them what kind of owner David Tepper will be there with the Panthers as really his era begins with you as the head coach?
Well, I think first he's a great man. I mean, the way he, throughout this process, the way he treated my family, the way he treated my wife, Julie, and my kids, he's a good man first and foremost. And I think that's really, really important to me. And I think he's just a difference maker in terms of the way he thinks. I'd say daily, weekly, if not daily, he'll call me with a question as we go through these difficult times of something else to think about that I like to think I check, I have contingency plans. Well, he always puts something in front of me to make me say, I better think about that. And I think it's why he's been successful in his world of business, because he's always thinking about all the options, all the potential issues. I know it's already made me better as a football coach, and I look forward to great days ahead with Mr. Tepper.
Fascinating. What have you been able to try to cobble together to build a culture, get a program going when you haven't been able to see your guys?
Yeah, I think of the 90 guys we have on the team, I've probably actually physically met 20 of them. There's probably 70 guys that I've never actually shaken their hand or say hello to. We're in this era right now of virtual meetings, virtual teaching. And I think the biggest thing is, for our players to play fast and have the success they want, they have to truly understand our systems. We can't actually replicate them. We can't go on the field and practice them, but we can certainly teach them and make sure they not only understand the what, but the why, and so we've tried to make sure that we're taking ourselves really seriously in terms of being great teachers during this time, making sure that we're doing an elite job virtually. And I think every person across this country who's had to teach their kids, in online school, we recognize how hard this can be. And so I think, I'm certainly a better coach, certainly a better teacher right now than I was a month ago. And I think all of our assistant coaches would say the same thing.
What's a typical day for you right now?
I get up pretty early. I get up before everyone else is up. I usually walk the dogs, and then my wife crafted. We moved into this house in Charlotte, 3 days before the stay-at-home order began. So I usually come upstairs to the third floor and start working over, virtual calls. Work right up till noon. Have a staff meeting. I go downstairs, grab some lunch, come back up at 1, start with the players, and then finish sometime later in the day. So. The benefits have been, it's been amazing for me to really spend more time with my kids, to be around them. Sometimes I'm having a meeting and my 4-year-old comes up and thinks it's cool to watch. So trying to find all the positives in it and not having to commute. Those are the 2 best parts.
We're all finding a lot of that. The college to pro deal, obviously some have done it very successfully. I just think of Pete Carroll right away. Others have struggled with it. Have you reached out to anyone who's gone this path? Have you studied any of that to help understand what's going to be the best way to make that transition as a head coach?
Yeah, this had kind of gone on for a couple of years, so I really had time to kind of think about it, to look at it. Studying, obviously, Pete Carroll's someone who I've only met one time, but has had a tremendous impact on me. His book, Win Forever, was a book I read when my middle daughter was being born that really impacted me. Think back to Jimmy Johnson and him obviously coming from college football. And so I think I just tried to identify, why do some coaches go from college and have great success and some haven't? And I think the biggest thing is, when you're in college, Mike, you're in control of everything. And when you come to the National Football League, you're not. You're not in charge of how everything works. And so just really disciplining yourself to control the things that matter, to focus on the things that matter. I think at the college level, you can get away with, kind of sometimes, being a tyrant or saying, hey, just do it because I said so. I haven't really done that. I went to work for Tom Coughlin before I was a head coach, and I really saw with Tom the impact of personal conversations, personal relationships, telling people and explaining why you want to do things. And I think that'll serve me really well here at this level, because, the guys that are in these locker rooms, the guys that are not pro football players, they have the same hopes, dreams, fears that I have. I mean, they have families, they have responsibilities that I have. And so I don't like to do anything without knowing why I'm doing it. Even if I don't want to do it, I like to know why. And so I try to take that same approach with my players, both at the college level, and I hope it serves me well here.
Yeah, it's great to identify the differences of the people who you're trying to lead. Leadership is such a great thing, and when you take over a team, there's player leadership. And what has happened here through a variety of decisions or others is, whether team or personal, Cam Newton, not there. Greg Olsen, not there. Luke Kuechly, not there. Teddy Bridgewater comes in. We know he's got some leadership qualities. Obviously, he'll be your quarterback. What do you do to try to identify the players who are going to be the leaders, given that you're doing the whole virtual thing to get to know each other?
I think we want to make sure we set really good standards in terms of, hey, this is what we expect, and so I think, you look at it and you see, hey, how is everyone meeting the standard? Is everyone doing the work that we want done? That's first and foremost. And then from there, you want leadership. You want guys that are going to try to raise the standard, and you want guys that are going to hold themselves and then others accountable. This is a difficult time for that, but I think within each position group, trying to establish a couple leaders within each position group, guys who can really mentor or teach or speak truth to the young guys. I think that's really the first step. I think our assistant coaches have done a great job of that, making sure that in each position group there are guys that are doing a great job in that group, and then just trying to present some opportunities for across the team where guys can speak and have a voice and speak on issues, concerns, problems. And then when we get together, hopefully this time of being virtual, but also having a chance to talk to each other, really helps. And I'll be honest with you, I think the interaction that's come virtually, when you're in a classroom, sometimes you're looking around, there's some different dynamics. Looking at a screen, I think it's emboldened some people to speak up and talk a little bit more and be a little bit more confident in what they're saying. So I'm hopeful that when we all get together, whenever that is, that we are way more confident in terms of speaking and talking to each other, and then the real leadership can emerge.
I like waking up early on Monday mornings, sometimes around when you're walking your dogs, maybe a little bit later than that, because Peter King's Football Morning in America column is waiting for me, and it kind of sets the tone for what just happened or what's going to be talked about in the league. And he deemed you guys, with you as a new head coach, all the changes we just talked about, rookie coordinators, including Joe Brady, who comes from LSU. This is maybe the hardest new start ever in the NFL, modern NFL, for a head coach and a team. And I'm saying, well, that's kind of Matt Rhule's alley, given what happened at Temple and what happened at Baylor. How much are you energized by the, hey, we are big underdogs in this process because it's so tough for us?
Well, I've always kind of looked at it. I remember when I took the Temple job, I remember talking, I was at the Giants, talking to Coach, Coughlin and the other assistant coaches. And, to me, I made a decision to gamble on myself. And I think whether people saw tremendous adversity, I saw opportunity. The hardest jump is to go from good to great. Going from bad to good is not quite, maybe as difficult. You just remove some obstacles. So, I'm excited about this opportunity. I made a decision to come here. I had a great job at Baylor. I didn't know all the things that were going to happen. Obviously, some things with roster, some things with coronavirus and all the different things. But from all that, I just keep trying to find the positive parts of it and letting it be an opportunity for me to really rethink the way that I do things, really be an opportunity for us to just master the things that we can control. And so I'm excited. I really am. I can't wait to have a chance. And I've really enjoyed every day since I've taken this job. There have been some hard days, but still days that I enjoy. So I'm hopeful that from, as I said, from a great challenge comes a great opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, you only have to play Brady and Breeze and Matt Ryan in your division 6 times. There are 10 other games, so there's a bright side to everything. Hey, great catching up with you. Best to you and Julie, and good luck down there in Charlotte.
Thank you so much. Great to see you, Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.